everybody, and welcome back to the Kay channel. This is Kay Kritiques. Now, if you didn't know, Kay Kritiques is a segment on this channel where we review South African television series and movies. As you can already tell by the title of today's video, we are reviewing Blood and Water Season 3. Guys, please do excuse me for the sound. It is raining outside, but the show must go on. So without any further ado, let us get into this video. But before we do that, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on the notification bell so that you're notified every single time I post a new video. So season 3 picks up right at the aftermath of what happened in season 2. In season 2, it was kind of confirmed that Thandeka is Fix's mother 100%, but we also did find out that Mr. Khumalo is not Fix's dad, which was a shocker. And we also discovered a little bit more about the human trafficking syndicate. But now things are getting juicier because Lisbeth Molapo is back in town. And let me tell you guys something. I found that woman to be so scary, like half the time. Like every time she opens her mouth, somebody dies. Obviously, she was a badass, but we aren't rooting for her because she's the villain. But let us get into this review. Season 3 centers around them finding and gathering more information about the human trafficking syndicate in order to prove that KB's parents are the ones who are behind Fikile's kidnapping, right? But also we see Fikile sort of, after finding out that she's not Fikile Bele, she's Phumelele Khumalo, she now has this sort of identity crisis. She's trying to get to know who she is. And now also after the revelation that she doesn't know her father and that her mother was having an affair, and so now she also wants to find her father. And so she eventually does find him. It was one of her mom's clients, and his name is Anthony, and he's an artist. And obviously she, after 18 years of him not knowing that he has a child, and Fix also not knowing that this is her father, and also they are both now on this journey of discovering each other, she has to gather the courage to sort of tell him. But how do you tell somebody, hey, I was kidnapped when I was young, and then I was raised by this family for 18 years, and then I just discovered that I actually belong to this other family, and then I also discovered that my mom actually cheated on her husband with you, and you are actually my father. Like, how do you bring that up? So Fix was most of this season battling with her identity, battling to find who she is, and also battling with getting in touch with this new family that is supposedly her family, like her real family. Like, after growing up with the Bele family, and then all of a sudden now she has to love and appreciate all these people that are new to her. It was sort of hard. So she was going through all of that while also helping and being part of the investigation, the side investigation that they were doing with the Puleng to find out more information about KB's parents. Now Puleng was dating Wade, but we all know that at the matric dance she kissed KB. Well, her and KB kissed. They kissed, and she now has to tell Wade because she is in a relationship with him, and it's very important to be open and honest in a relationship, right? So I think we all knew that Wade and Puleng are not gonna last. Like, I knew, for me, KB and Puleng are in game. So every single time there was a scene with Wade and Puleng, I just felt so awkward. I just felt so awkward. Oh my gosh. I was cringing the whole entire time. Like, the writers can't possibly making us want to think that Wade and Puleng good together. They just weren't compatible in my books. But anyways, they were in a relationship, and obviously Wade is Puleng's sidekick and partner in crime, and they are helping each other to discover, like, to solve this mystery. But I did want to speak about Puleng's relationship with Wade a little bit, and I think this relationship did help Wade, and it was good for Wade. Now, I know a lot of you might be saying, you just said KB and Puleng are in game. I know that, but I feel like it was good for both of them, because you never want to live with that what if. Like, you never want to live with that what if of, what if it would have worked out? What if we would have been happy together? At least now they know we tried, we gave it our all, it didn't work out. But I also feel like this relationship was also good for Wade in terms of him being like, in terms of him discovering what he likes, what he wants in a relationship, especially because now he was a virgin and obviously Puleng isn't anymore. And that pressure, even though Puleng never ever put pressure on him to have sex, but him having that pressure and also being ridiculed by Chris that, oh, you're still a virgin and all of this stuff, it actually was a good thing for him to be in a committed relationship where certain things are expected of you or whatever, and him to be able to be like, do I want to have sex? Do I want to abstain? Is this something that I want to do right now? Like, he might want to have sex with her along the line, but obviously at this point in time, do I want to be sexually intimate with this person right now? And I feel like that was a good thing. I wish they expanded on it more, on Wade going on this journey where he tries to figure it out for himself. He speaks more with his mom, he speaks more with that sex ed teacher, where he actually starts to discover, do I even want to engage in sexual activities right now? Am I ready? And I feel like a lot of young people needed that conversation to be had, where it's like, if you're not ready, don't feel pressured by people or even your partner to engage in those activities if you aren't ready. Like, wait until you're ready, wait until it's right, and nobody should judge you for wanting to abstain or to have sex. If you want to have sex, that's completely fine. If you want to abstain, that's completely fine. There's no need to shame one or the other. It's not black and white. It's a thing of everybody gets to make a choice on what to do with their own bodies. I wish they would have chastised Chris more on judging and shaming Wade because he was a virgin. I'm just like, as much as, okay, you're shaming him, and that's something that does happen in society sometimes, especially like with culture always like perpetuating the stereotype that we should be like engaging in sexual activities all the time. You have to realize that these people are actually teenagers. Like, Wade is like 17 years old. Like, of course, if he's a virgin, it makes sense. He's 17. He's still young. But yeah, I think this relationship was good for them, and I actually am happy, and I love that Wade was honest with himself. He could see we don't work. We're better off as friends than as actual partners. Like, it's not working, it's not gonna work, rather we don't force it. And I completely get it, and I appreciate his honesty, and I appreciate that he was the one to be able to see that, because Puleng did see it, and even Ulunga, I'll speak on Ulunga in a minute, but Ulunga, Puleng's cousin, also did help her to see that, girl, this guy, you need to be honest with yourself. You don't really like this guy like that. Like, you like him, but not like that. Not like that. So be honest with yourself. But I think she wasn't. Another thing with Puleng, I feel like she didn't really grieve. She didn't really grieve the loss of her father. She didn't really take time to process everything that's happened. Like, from discovering that this person is potentially your sister, you were almost sexually harassed by some criminal, and now this person is your sister, and then after that you discover that your mother cheated on your father, and then after that you break up with your boyfriend, then after that you're now in a new relationship, and then after that you get your father passes on, and then after that you get kidnapped. And I feel like she didn't really get a lot of time to process anything. She was sort of burying a lot of things, but especially with the passing of her father, she didn't really get a chance to grieve. And I'm actually so glad about that car scene. So I did say there are spoilers, but I'm not going to spoil everything. But that car scene with Wade and Puleng, where Wade is like, how are you? Or are you using me right now to try and deal with what happened with your dad? And Puleng kept saying, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, even though she wasn't fine. She didn't really take time to mourn or heal. Like one day after she was out of hospital, she wanted to see police reports. She was on the investigation again, and I feel like she didn't really get time to process it. And also she did have a lot of grief and a lot of guilt. And I'm so happy about the scene that happened in episode 6, where her mother sort of talks to her and tells her it's not your fault that your father passed on. I think she needed to hear that in order to start that process of healing. And I'm so glad that towards the end of the season she was like, I'm not sure if I'm okay. And that was a pretty powerful moment. Now let us get into KB. KB annoyed me this season. Let me tell you something. I understand where he was coming from. Obviously, you always want to believe the best of your parents. Like if somebody came up to me right now and was like, your mom kidnapped me and she sold me to a human trafficking ring when I was young, obviously I'm not gonna believe that. I'm not gonna believe it. And obviously with the police not finding any evidence against his family, and he had every right to defend his family, but at the same time it can't be that all the evidence points that your parents are guilty, and by now you're gonna tell us no, they're innocent, and you're not gonna help us try and bust your parents. Like KB didn't really show up a lot this season. Like we didn't really spend time with him on the side where we see him with his character. It was only when it involved the investigation where we actually got to see KB. But we did get a scene in the beginning where he was speaking to Puleng and he was like, I can't stop thinking about that kiss and I want more, and I know you feel the same way too. But then obviously Puleng brushed him off. I was like, I'm with Wade now. But I'm really hoping that they pull through. I don't know how it's gonna happen now after everything that's happened in this season. How are they going to get through this? How are the writers going to write it where they get back together? I really would love to see that journey. And yeah, that's it about KB. Like KB didn't really have much of a storyline or any plot line, other than him and Puleng being in game and him helping out with the investigation. There's really nothing to talk about in terms of KB. Now Chris, I have a lot to say about Chris. When I didn't like Chris in season 1, and I'm sure a lot of you also didn't like Chris in season 1 because of the way he acted, the way he treated Puleng. Then in season 2 we got to see him and also discover more about him, see how his home is, like his upbringing a little bit, where his parents just jet off to any part of the world. They don't really care about him, they don't really pay attention to him. So that's part of the reason why he was acting out, and that's part of the reason why he was such a player and a playboy and like a man whore, I guess. But we really got so much character development. Now this is the thing about Chris. We got so much character development in season 2, only for the writers to backtrack and ruin it. They ruined it. And I hate that for Chris. I hate that for Chris. I hate that for Wendy. And I even hate it for Ulunga. I hate it. Because Chris had so much development where we saw where he was coming from. And we saw him actually wanting to pursue a serious relationship with Wendy. They even developed and actually put commitment into the picture before she goes off to Spain. And also seeing him with Wendy not being there. Okay, so you're in a relationship with this person, you haven't really spent time together, and now this person is gone. It's long distance. Your relationship is fresh and you're already doing long distance. And to see Chris being in an actual relationship, an actual committed relationship, but seeing him being scared to be vulnerable, seeing him being scared to even call Wendy and tell her, Wendy, I miss you, because he doesn't want to seem like some lovesick chump, I guess. That was so beautiful to see. I thought we were going in the direction of him actually realizing being vulnerable is a beautiful thing. Being vulnerable is actually you being strong, and opening yourself up to love is not a bad thing. And obviously we know it's because his parents, he doesn't feel like his parents loved him at all. So he is the way he is. He's scared to be vulnerable and open himself up to love and to love other people, because he's scared that they will then leave him or not love him or not find him worthy of love, you know. So I was actually so happy to see that development of him actually talking to his friends about it, like, I miss Wendy, I want to see her. Him calling her every day, I need to talk to you, I want to kiss you, I miss you so much, when are you coming back, I'm coming to Spain, all of that, only for them to make him cheat. Only for them to make him cheat. When I catch these writers, they're on my list. Let me tell you something. Was that a fly? The writers are on my list. Those writers are on my list. Let me tell you something. Because why are you doing Chris bad like that? You know, when this thing of him being attracted to Lunga started, and then we actually got to see Lunga make a move on him, and then Chris declines and he's like, I can't do this. I thought that was the pivotal moment where he's gonna take a shift and actually give his relationship with Wendy a fair chance, and that he was going to be loyal, and that he was going to change from his old ways. 3 seasons and still no character development for this person. I hate it. And as for Lunga was the character I didn't know I needed until it actually happened. I loved Lunga. He added that sound sage advice. He was the one keeping them safe, keeping them actually like rational. He was the rational one, but also the fun one at times, and also the comedic relief sometimes, which I actually enjoyed. And I just love Lunga, and I can't wait to see more of him in season 4. Now, Reese still owes a drug lord money. I'm not even gonna talk about Reese. Like, I don't really like Reese. Sorry. Chris has been offering you money to solve this problem of yours for so long, since last year. And you're gonna be like, I'm not a charity case. Like, girl, just take the money. Now you're making it everyone's problem when Chris tried to help you. Tahira's storyline, I don't know why they included it, but I guess I think it was a thing of just like showing that sometimes people who are underprivileged and also people of color don't have the same privileges. I mean, Reese and Tahira are both here on a scholarship, but Reese still has white privilege. And I totally get what they were trying to do with the storyline, but it bored me. And I guess, yeah, maybe they're trying to develop a relationship between Tahira and that other girl, the other one who's annoying as well. I don't even remember her name. And obviously the biggest storyline of all is actually finding the information against the Molapo family. And I did mention earlier that Puleng did get kidnapped. She was kidnapped by KB's mom because she was getting closer to the truth, basically. And in the end, we actually found out that she was working with this detective. Detective Vance, when I catch you. Detective Vance, when I catch you. You're on my list, baby. You're on my list. That ending, I'm not gonna spoil it for people who haven't watched, but that ending, I would have been much more satisfied if it ended with KB's mom getting arrested and then it cut off there, because that would have tied up the story. I honestly though, I'm trying to figure out what season 4 is gonna be about, because they've tied up all the loose ends. We now know that Fix is Phumelele. We found out who Fix's father is. We finally got the evidence that we needed to prove that the Molapos are the ones who kidnapped Fix. They got arrested. Wade and Puleng broke up. I'm trying to figure out what more could season 4 be about, other than obviously they're trying to develop the new storyline. They try to develop it, but I don't think that's enough to make a whole season. And I feel like season 3, let me tell you, it's season 3, season 1, season 2. That's how I'm ranking them. Season 3 was perfect. The cinematography, the acting, the storyline, the pacing, everything was absolutely perfect, and I feel like they can't top it. And sometimes, guys, we just need to quit while we're ahead before we ruin a good thing. The only thing that us as viewers would have maybe wanted to see is KB and Puleng getting back together, and I'm sure they're gonna make that happen in season 4. But other than that, that's something that we as viewers already knew was gonna happen from the beginning. So obviously when Wade and Puleng broke up, we all knew that KB and Puleng are gonna end up together. There was no need for us to see that. Like, we could have made it up in our heads, because that was the only loose end that wasn't tied up. The rest, I'm just like, every loose end was tied up. Every question that we had was answered. So what is the need for season 4? But obviously I'm gonna be watching season 4. But yeah, guys, that is Blood and Water. Please do let me know what was your favorite episode. What do you think? Do you have a different opinion from mine? Do we have the same opinion? Let me know what you enjoyed, and also please do let me know how you rank the seasons of Blood and Water, from which one is your favorite to which one is your least favorite. Please do like, comment, and subscribe. Notification bell must be turned on so that you're notified every single time I post a new video, and I will catch you guys in the next episode of Kay Kritiques. Bye.